Hey y'all, Teanna here, deep conditioning as usual. My fiance pointed out that every time I do a video, I'm deep conditioning, which is hilarious, but whatever. So, I decided to give you all a story time of how I got engaged. So, there's my ring. You all saw it in the last video I did. So I got engaged on December 28th. It was great. I don't remember what time it was, but it was December 28th. So backstory, my fiance, I guess, and I have been together for 5 years. We started dating in 2014. We're in 2020 now, so it's been more than 5 years at this point, but at the time it was like 5 years and a few months that we had been dating. So we knew it was that a proposal was coming. So I've always told him, if we're not engaged by my 27th birthday, I'm leaving. That was just that. And it wasn't like an ultimatum for him. It was just me saying what I would allow for myself. It had nothing to do with him as much as it was about what I was willing to tolerate and not willing to tolerate. Why are my glasses so dirty? Pause. One moment. Okay, that's better. What I was willing to tolerate for myself. And for me, that was a long enough relationship for you to know whether or not we're going to be together. So that was that. Then it just was what was important to me. So 5 years was my time. I'm sorry, yes, 27 was my time. That was it. After 27, if it didn't happen, whatever the situation was, I was gonna pack up and leave. That was just what it was. And this was before Julian came. That we were having this conversation before Julian. So, like I said, we met in college, started dating. We went on our first date in September of 2014. That was our first date. We've pretty much been together ever since then. Excuse me. So I know it was coming. Anyways, so I'm one of those women who know what kind of wedding I want. I've been planning my wedding for like 10 years now. It was just a situation where I need to find a groom. I already know what I want in a wedding. I already know what I want in a marriage. I'm one of those types. So our whole relationship, we've talked about weddings. We've talked about marriage. We've talked about what kind of family we want to have. We've talked about like values that are important to each of us. And I feel like those conversations are really important, especially if you see yourself spending the rest of your life with a specific person. Those conversations need to be had before a ring comes. So we've had those conversations for years now. So I know what he expects in a wife. He knows what I expect in a husband. I know what he sees in like for his children in their future, and the same for me. So we just have had those conversations for a while now, and as we've grown as a couple, what we're willing to compromise on has changed, and what we're willing to, we've made changes in what we want for our future, but we're open with those conversations. So that being said, I know I had Julian. So once we had Julian, I'm like, okay, I know that a ring is gonna come soon after. I know not too long after Julian, I'm gonna get a ring. So it was just like a waiting game. Like, okay, when is it coming? I was telling my sisters all the time, I know it's gonna come, because he's like making conversation about it a little bit more. But it wasn't a situation where that he felt the situation was not conducive for him feeling like this is how I want to propose to her. So it didn't happen. So, before this ring, There it is. I can't remember if I'm going to focus on my face. There we go. That's the ring. Before this ring, there was another ring that I found out about. And this was in December, but it was before Christmas. So it was early December. And he was just real quiet. He was always on his phone, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like asking him about it. Not because I think he's up to something, but just because, like, why are you so weird? Like, I don't not trust him. So it wasn't like I thought he was doing something he had no business doing. It's just like, what are you doing? You know? And he got tired of me asking. And then I had an attitude because he came up with a lie of, oh, I bought some speakers for the apartment. So then I was mad because we have a whole child and you bought speakers. Like, that's what you thought a good purchase was for our new place, was speakers. So that became a whole I'm not talking to you right now thing. So to kind of deflect from that and to get out of the doghouse, he just told me, okay, I'm getting you a ring. And I'm like, when is it gonna happen? When are you gonna? And that was all he was telling me, that he got me a ring. So cut to that ring. It was a whole lot of hoopla behind it, and it just didn't work out with that ring, basically. So he's like, scratch this idea. I figured something else out, and that was all I knew. So I was telling my sisters, like, oh my God, I guess that something was up. He's proposing. I don't know when. He has to give me another ring. He doesn't like the ring. The ring didn't work out. But like that, it was this whole thing. So I'm thinking, like, there has to be as a week or so went by, I still hadn't been proposed to. So I'm like, if he has to have gotten the ring. I don't know where it is, but I feel like he got the ring. And this was the new ring. And so I remember I told my sister, I was like, what if it's here? What if it's here in the apartment? And she just laughed like, Teanna, do you think it's there? Like, you know, and I'm like, I don't know if it's here, but what if? Like, it was this whole thing of, I feel like the ring is somewhere in this apartment and I just don't know that the ring is here. So, cut to, he says, babe, we haven't been out, and this is the vlog footage that you all saw me getting ready for this date. So we haven't been out on like a real sit down type of date since before Julian. Just because he's always with us for the most part. We're either at work, or because we work so much during the week. He and I both work 40 plus hours a week. So because we work so much during the week, we don't see Julian during the day. So our weekends with him, we're like always hanging out with Julian because that's really our only time to like hang out with Julian. So he's like, Julian's gonna go to my mom's house. We're gonna go on a date because we haven't been on a date. We got to go on a sit down date. You know, it was a big thing. So I was told that we were going to Prime and Proper. I've never been to Prime and Proper, but that's where we were going. So I'm like, oh, cool. So the outfit that you all saw me wear, like I said, I knew a proposal was coming at some point. So I had an outfit planned. Now, the type of person I am, the closest people to me are my siblings. So I knew whenever he finally did it, my sisters were going to know about it. Because that's who's closest to me in my life. So I told my sister, I'm like, one of my sisters lives like right around the corner from me. Her apartment is literally like 3 minutes from my apartment driving. So I told her, I was like, if he starts talking to you about a proposal, this is the outfit that I want to wear. And it was the outfit that I had on for the date. But so when he told me about the Prime and Proper, we already know that the proposal is happening. So at some point, I didn't know it was going to be the 28th, but at some point we knew it was happening. So I told him, this is the outfit I want to get engaged in. He's like, I don't want to see the outfit because I don't want to know what it looks like. You know, so he's never seen that outfit. But I'm like, Prime and Proper? I've never been to Prime and Proper. So I go on Instagram and I search the restaurant on Instagram. Like, because that's how I gauge what I should wear to a place. And I saw that every Instagram picture I saw of people there was really kind of dressy. So I'm like, oh, I'll wear that. Because it's a brand new outfit. I hadn't worn the boots yet. I hadn't worn the dress yet. I hadn't worn the little jacket yet. I hadn't carried the bag yet. So I'm like, you know what? This is what I'm going to wear. And so I asked him, I'm like, so you're going to propose to me at our dinner? And he's like, no, Teanna, that's not what this is about. We really just need to go on a date. It's not a proposal. So I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. We're going out still. So it wasn't like I said, it was not a big deal, because it wasn't a situation where I felt like I was waiting for a ring that wasn't coming. We knew the ring was coming. I just didn't know where it was, and I didn't know when it would happen. So, I get dressed. We go to the car, and he's like texting the whole time. But I think he's texting because we're running late, because we genuinely are running late, because it was traffic and all this other crap. So we genuinely are running late. And I'm thinking he's texting to keep our reservations, because he was telling me how he had a friend that worked at the restaurant and they were going to hold our table for us because we're running late, blah, blah, blah. It was a whole thing. So I remember when he told me the restaurant we were going to, I Googled the menu, and one of my sisters and I were looking at the menu like, Teanna, you don't eat any of this food. I'm like, I know, I don't like any of this food, and this stuff is expensive. What if I get there and I order something and I don't like it, and he done paid like $60 for a steak? And it was this whole big thing. So, I'm like, I really rather go to like a restaurant with food I actually like. I don't want this stuff. But I was gonna go because my boyfriend was taking me out on a date at the time. My boyfriend was taking me out on a date, so it was gonna be great. So, anyways, I get dressed, we're running late. His phone keeps going off. I'm still not thinking anything about this because we've never gone to this restaurant before. So as his phone is going off, it was like, I'm like, who keeps texting you? What is that? And he's like, oh, it's the person at the restaurant. I'm trying to hold our reservations, blah, blah, blah. Then it was, you probably heard that emergency light going, or emergency, whatever. Sorry. Anyways, then it was, oh, it's my bank account alerting me because I'm spending a certain amount of money. And because he told me at the restaurant, you had to pay for the reservation. So we've never been to this restaurant before, and it is a relatively upscale place. So in my mind, I'm like, that makes sense. They see money coming out of your account for a place you've never been, because the banks do track your spending habits. So maybe they're emailing or texting or whatever saying, hey, is this you? Banks do that. So once again, I'm not thinking anything of it when he tells me that. So I hurry up and get dressed. He's like, oh, you look so beautiful. And I didn't think anything of it. He tells me I look great all the time if I dress up. Like this, whatever. But when I actually put real clothes on, he always compliments me. So I'm still not thinking, that was a little sentimental. But I'm not thinking that because it's not the first time he said it. If I have on actual clothes, it's not out of the ordinary. So we get in the car. We're going downtown because the restaurant is downtown. I'm like, so what's the plan? Where are we gonna go? He's like, well, we're gonna park at OCM's parking structure. OCM One Campus Marshals, if you do not know, is in the heart of downtown. So I'm like, what? It's a parking structure? We're gonna park at the parking structure? Yeah. And we're gonna cut through and go to the restaurant. Restaurant's like 5-minute walk from Campus Marshals. I'm like, okay. So I'm not thinking anything of it. We ride down. We finally get downtown. The whole time we're on our way downtown, he's texting and like frantic. And I'm like, who is texting you? I'm like, we're gonna lose our reservation. Because I'm still thinking this is the restaurant. His friend that works at the restaurant telling us, y'all better hurry up. So we get downtown. It's like 4:20 when we get to the parking garage. Our reservation was at 4:30. Reservation, 4:30. So I'm like, oh shoot, we're gonna be late. We gotta hurry up. I have heels on, as you all saw. The way the parking structure is made it's on a slant, so my feet are killing me walking through the parking structure to get out of the parking structure. So we walked through the parking structure. We walked down the block, turn the, go across the street, and there's Campus Marshes. So, for those of you who do not know, it's cold out right now. It's January, so it's technically winter. There's no snow out, but it's winter. And so Campus Marshes is right now an ice rink. I don't know if the tree is still up, but at the time, the big tree was up, the big Christmas tree. And there's like big waterfalls and everything. A water fountain. So it's really pretty around this time. So it's just a bunch of people out. I'm like, oh my God, there's so many people. They're in the way. Not thinking anything. I'm trying to like hurry up. My feet hurt. We got to get 5 minutes away through the parking. We're cutting through the middle of Campus Marshes. He tells me I didn't have a jacket. So he's like, just leave on that black and white, the houndstooth cardigan you all saw, because my coat, it didn't match. So I'm like, I'm not wearing my coat because I'm trying to look cute and it don't match my outfit. So it's only a 5-minute walk. We trucking it. I'll be all right. So we're walking past the ice rink. So as you walk past the ice rink, you turn and there's like the fountain and the big Christmas tree. So as we're walking past the ice rink, as soon as we turn the corner, I don't see his family, but I recognize, because I've grown up with my family, I recognize them instantly when I see them. It could just be a glance. I recognize them like that. So as soon as I turn the corner, I see my dad, my stepmom, my mom, my grandma, my sister. I see my great aunt. I see my grandma. I said my grandma already, didn't I? I see my family. And then right next to my family, I see my baby, his mom, his dad, his sister, his other relatives, aunts, uncles, cousins, stuff like that. So I'm like, and as soon as I saw my family, I froze. And it's just like, I'm an ugly crier, so I did kind of tear up a little bit. And I just stopped, like a deer in headlights. Because I already, like, why else would they be down here? So, he like tugged my arm, my hand, like, come on, babe. Because I was behind him at this point, because I had literally just stopped walking. So he like, come on, babe. And he tugs me. So we go close to our family. Our families are waiting at the tree. So he pulls me in front of the tree, says what he says. My sisters make the joke, and then, he asked me to marry him and gets down on one knee and all that. So when he gets down on one knee, I start bawling at this point. So there are people around us like, oh my God, clapping and whatnot, because we're in the middle of downtown. So my sisters, because they were on, those sisters who weren't there were on FaceTime. So my sisters are like, Teanna, it's so funny because you had your hand out before he even asked you to marry him. But whatever. So that was that. We took pictures of all of us took pictures together, that type of thing. So I'm really, really happy. I think my proposal was great. I hate public proposals. Let me start there. However, if it would not have been public, I would have expected it. So I can see why he made it public, because that was the only way to catch me off guard, because I already knew it was coming, because I was hounding him about why he was being so secretive and so quiet. And so because I already knew it was coming, even though he said it wasn't going to happen at the restaurant, I would have thought tonight is the night. Tonight is, you know what I mean? Like, because that's an intimate dinner at a fancy restaurant. Duh. You just think that. So I would have thought that if we would have been somewhere just the two of us. So the fact that we're walking through downtown, I'm not expecting it walking through downtown. So that was the perfect time to do it. So even though I don't like public proposals, realistically, there was no other way for him to do it and for me to be surprised, because it had to be a reason for me to get dressed up. If he would have said, come on, get dressed up, we're going to dinner, I would have thought, like I was thinking, I'm so excited. He's taking me to dinner. We're getting proposed. We're getting engaged tonight. I would have thought that. So the fact that it was in public, I was caught off guard, basically, which worked out. So down the line, I found out the person that he had been texting that whole time was my sister, for the most part. The one that lives around the corner. So the whole time me and her are looking at the menu of the restaurant and me saying, I don't like any of the food. Her saying, yeah, Teanna, I don't think you eat any of that food. She knew I wasn't really going to the restaurant. But that's okay. So yeah, that was December 28th. So once again, that's the ring. I love my ring because I hate traditional engagement rings. Are not my style at all. Big diamonds are not my style at all. I'm not that person. I'm just not. I like rings that look more like bands and rings that have like traditional center stones. I'm just not that. I'm not that girl. But yeah, I think it was a great day. I was so caught off guard. We have a wedding date set. We're still trying to figure out what type of wedding we want. Like, we don't know if we want a ceremony or not yet. That's still in the works. Whether or not we're having a ceremony and a reception, or we're just having a reception, we don't know yet. We just have a day in mind, which I'm not gonna tell you all. But yeah, so it was great. I was surprised. I was excited. Still excited. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I just wanted to tell y'all the official like story of how it happened. Because I haven't been back since the proposal. So I wanted to come back and give you guys like an official video. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do in the comment section. And I'll talk to y'all later.